Oh, look at me go. Look at me go. I'm on time. I'm on time. And look, there's folks in here. I, I was like, wow, I don't think I've ever come in and there's been people like, hey, what are you doing? So thank y'all. Thank y'all. That makes it a little easier. So I guess you could tell by the title it says let's just go to it. So the first thing I'm going to do though is like we always do, because over here we do it with some class. Well, we do it with as much class with a warning label as you can get. But class or classless or warning label, we always remember why we're here. So we're going to start it with that.
We were the heartbeat of a summer's day, dreamers with laughter that won't fade away. We built our lives with hope in our hands, friends, lovers, souls with unbroken plans. Our voices rang out like a song in the air, bound by the love we were destined to share. But a darkness crept in with a cold, bitter sting, tried to silence the joy that our spirits would sing. Its empty shadow could never define the light we carry, the lives that were mine. We are more than the sorrow, more than the fight, more than the darkness that stole us from sight. Not just a memory lost to the pain. We're the fire that burns, will always remain. Oh, for those left behind, hold our light in your heart. We're the love that lives on, never torn apart. We chased our dreams under wide open skies, with courage that sparkled in bright, fearless eyes. Our homes were alive with the stories we told, warmth in our smiles, our future so bold. They thought they could end us, but they'll never see. Our spirits are endless, forever set free. That evil was nothing, a thief in the night, but we're the dawn that still carries the light. Not victims, not shadows, not bound by their lies. We're the hope that still shines in your tear-filled eyes. We are more than the sorrow, more than the fight, more than the darkness that stole us from sight. Not just a memory lost to the pain. We're the fire that burns, will always remain. Oh, for those left behind, hold our light in your heart. We're the love that lives on, never torn apart. No silent screams, no empty goodbyes. We're the warmth in your soul, the stars in your skies. Not a moment of evil, not a mark of despair. We're the dreams that you carry, the love in the air. Sing for us, live for us, let our spirits soar.
And as y'all know, it cuts off. It's supposed to say, let our spirits soar. So I apologize to all of those in that video for it cutting off. And we all know that those are the people that we are here for. We are here for the victims. We are here for the families. I am not the YouTube police. I am not the know-all or the defend-all or anything like that. But, big but, when there is such vile smut that comes out of someone's mouth about one of those victims, that their life was taken by a piece of crap. And I don't care who you think the piece of crap is, okay? Piece of crap is piece of crap that took the person's life, okay? Took any of their lives. I don't care who you think the piece of crap is. This has nothing to do with guilt or innocence right now. And I know that we're all the time talking about victim shaming and stuff like that. But I think that there is a line that crosses even victim shaming. And I honestly feel that in my heart, in my integrity, and you know, my integrity is my integrity. It's how I feel about me. It's how I live my life and my morals. So nobody can really judge my integrity. That if I do not say something, or if I do not address it, and this is just my integrity, okay? Because I know that there's people like that out there. And if I called every one of them out, I would just sit here and do nothing all day long except sit and call people out on YouTube. And I don't want to do that. But I hope y'all will agree when I play you this 4 minutes. And I debated on playing it because I was like, don't give it the airtime. But I feel like you need to hear it to really understand it. So that's the only reason that I'm playing it. Dago, I'm playing your content. I am not monetized. Strike away. So, alright, y'all. I love y'all, and here we go.
Office, quote unquote, office with nothing but a bed in it. You've got a lot of money flowing through that house, or certainly a lot of residents of that house that seem to have a pretty good income to buy whatever they want, travel wherever they want.
Well, Jesse, I don't know if you heard it yesterday or if you watched. You said you watched it back. We were gonna go the next to last. Before I ended yesterday, one of the next to last interviews I read, that girl said that it basically, she insinuated that Kaylee seemed to conveniently have quite a bit of money lately. She bought a Range Rover. I think it was Madison Moy that they were interviewing in the backyard, and said that she'd been buying drinks for people a lot lately and things like that. So she's insinuating that Kaylee is sitting on some bank. You know what I mean? So that was kind of interesting. It's very interesting.
Well, and there you go. As far as motive goes, I mean, somebody comes into a bunch of money, and then something like that happens to them, and it seemed like more happened to Kaylee than happened to anybody else.
Yeah.
You know,
and they won't tell us who their victim was. Conveniently, I think they know,
and they won't let us even talk about the money. That, you know, the shame that comes, the victim shaming comments that come when you even question where she's getting the money. What is she selling? What's the deal with that Wi-Fi? What's the deal with that office?
Right.
To me, it highly likely has something to do with where all that money is coming from, and why Dylan wants to distance herself from that.
It could very well be. And to me, I told SRB when we talked about this yesterday beforehand, I said, it's not a bad thing, folks. But Steve Gonsalves, I still think this is what he was talking about, stated there's going to be some names dragged through the mud, and there's going to be a lot of people that think there's some things that are gross. That's what I think he's talking about, because he knew. Again, there's no shame in it. Do what you got to do to do, and people do it all the time, okay? Just as much as single mothers that work at exotic dance clubs to make an income to take care of their child. I don't down these people. This is what they have to do, or this is what you're doing. It's your choice. It's you. That's your life, your body, your choice, your whatever you're going to do.
You certainly don't deserve to be harmed because of it. That's for sure.
Not at all. Not at all.
Might not wish it for our daughters and our family members in particular, but who are we to judge, I guess?
Mm-hmm. Amen. So yeah, that's definitely a thing, and it shouldn't be looked down upon. It shouldn't be a dirty, gross thing. Okay, we're grown adults, folks. Some of us are between our.
Well, it certainly could provide some motive for Jack D. I mean, his high school sweetheart, and then we're reading in the documents that she's got these casual hookups that she casually spends the night with this guy here in this town, and she's got a guy that she spends the night with in Dallas or in Texas, wherever she was going to move to in Texas, and various other things.
There's that new male roommate she was about to go move in with. I mean, that's that would definitely light somebody up. They'd be a little pissed about that.
I counted 3 confirmed different guys that it was insinuated she was sleeping. Was it 5? 5. So yeah, that's and it could be 5, it could be 15. How many is enough to get Jack riled up? 3 is probably enough to get him riled up.
Right.
One would be enough in some senses, right?
But yeah, I mean, if it's your high school sweetheart and she's making it a business, I could see that being hard to deal with when you're that young and that.
Making it a business. What? Oh, I'm really holding myself back right now. Jesse. Now let me explain. Dago, you know that I personally contacted you yesterday. You know I personally let you know that I was interested in having a discussion with you on panel and discussing some of these things. You responded with, of course, you let people like me up on your panel. But unfortunately, I was never allowed up there, so I had no recourse but to do it this way. Because I am not afraid to come on anybody's panel and tell you what vile smut is coming out of your mouth. And I don't know who Mama Bear is because I do not follow y'all. I troll y'all. But for a female to sit up there and allow that kind of smut to be spoken about Kaylee, about any victim, okay? I mean, I am just, I can't even. Y'all want to talk about a Range Rover, Land Rover? I don't care what kind of Rover it is, okay? It was a used Rover. Used. She had saved up money and put a down payment down on it. I mean, we're talking a total of less than $30,000. You know, I mean, she's riding around sporting a nice car. Did she buy it brand new? What if she had? Is it any of our business? And how dare you sit there and start the conversation out, Mr. Jesse, with, let's talk about the spare room. You know, the one that she does the Wi-Fi in that only has a bed in it. And then, Dago, for you to take it further and talk about, if that's what you want to do, we're all adults. They ain't a one of y'all fucking people up there on that panel an adult. Not a one of you. And I can't believe any of you are a parent. And I hope the hell none of you are a parent of a girl. I hope none of you have a daughter. Because I can guarantee you, if you have a daughter, There's no way you'd be up there talking that kind of smut. And I can guarantee you that I hope none of you's ever lost a child. Because you definitely wouldn't be doing that kind of crap. And that's all the time I'm going to give you, because you're not worth my time. And Jesse, you and your panel hopping, trying to get your narrative out there, it's not about your narrative, dude. It's about 4 dead kids that their parents, their friends, their families are never going to speak to, never going to see, never going to watch them get married, never going to watch them have kids or anything, because you want a narrative. Fuck you. Fuck your narrative. So, now that I have that out of my system, I'm just, you know, that's they're not even suggesting OnlyFans, okay? As far as I know, OnlyFans, you might show some body or something. They're talking about a bed. They're talking about a business. They're talking about hookering. I mean, just be honest about it. I mean, how can you... And okay, here's my deal. Here's my question to anybody and everybody out there that wants to push any kind of stuff like this. If I say something about Bryan Kohberger, you want to come at me and tell me, where's your proof? Can you prove that about him? All y'all do is push a narrative because y'all don't know him. Do you know the lady that you just... Oh my God, I don't even know what you just did. I can't comprehend what you just did. And I'm so thankful that I have no comprehension of that. Some OnlyFans is just behind the scenes street outlaw racing. I don't know if... Rock, I don't know if that's supposed to have some kind of meaning or if it's really outlaw racing. But come on, Rock, you gotta admit, that's some pretty low blow when you're sitting there because there's a bed in a bedroom and she has a Range Rover and you're calling her a hooker. I mean, and that's being nice on my part, you know, and I'm sorry, I'm not usually speechless. That's the reason I come with a warning label. But yesterday when I saw that, you know, and I have where I look, let's talk about it on panel. You know, let's do it. You want to be out in public, you want your opinion, you stand by your opinion, then let's discuss it. Let's have an adult discussion. So, I'm not going to apologize for calling it out on my channel. I'm not going to apologize for doing it this way, because if I had sat back, I would have never forgiven myself if I had not called that out. So, whew, Lordy mercy. Their love for BK becomes hate for the victim. Man, you know what, Jeff H? That right there, that is a profound statement right there. And that's a sad statement. Sad, sad statement. Because Mutta and Fada can't help him. And Sista don't give a crap. I mean, it's just... If I had to guess, Mutta and Fada are probably glad to be rid of him. Oh, they can all come in here to me. I don't have any mods. I do not have one mod. Not one mod at all. Anybody can come in here. They can say anything they want to say. But I'm telling you right now, be careful what you say to me. Because I have spent the whole morning planning a fundraiser for tonight for my dead son. and to get him some kennels at rehab centers in his memory. So between picking out pictures for a fundraiser for my son that I lost, that I know the pain of losing a child, and then this, and then just other stuff going on in my life, please come at me. Today would definitely be the day that I would unleash everything that's gone wrong in my life onto you. So please be very careful how you come at me. Oh, so my fundraiser for tonight is due to so many loving people. We already have 2 kennels paid for. We only need 2 more. And so I'm doing a fundraiser tonight for Dabo's Kennels. For those of you that do not know, I lost my son to IV meth use. And I will be telling his story tonight. I will be telling, I will basically be doing Those Left Behind in my son's name. Those Left Behind are introducing you to them as more than addicts, more than what took their lives, more than their downfalls, their pitfalls, and stuff like that. Because my son was beautiful. He had a beautiful heart. He had an open heart. He was a beautiful person, inside and out. And I always want him to be remembered as more than a meth head, or more than a drug addict, or more than the overdose that took his life. So, but as far as Kohberger, y'all, if you have to go around and you have to victim shame and you have to debunk almost every alphabet that is in the law enforcement people out in the world, FBI, DEA, CIA, SERT, MPD, ISP, whatever, if you have to go around debunking everybody from Washington State to Idaho State to Pennsylvania State, there may be a problem, okay? If there is a common denominator, if I'm a common denominator with 10 problems with problems with 10 different people, and I'm a common denominator, I'm probably the problem. It's not the other 10 people. It's probably me. Okay? So, sometimes deflection is easier than reflection. And, dude, let me tell y'all are doing a lot of deflecting for someone that y'all do not know. Okay? Y'all want to talk about how we talk about Kohberger. We want to have a narrative about somebody. Did you ever meet him? Did you ever meet these victims? Do you know these people? Do you know better than I do of anything going on? Because I'm going to tell you this right now. If you know more than I do, if you know more than Salty, if you know more than Gage, if you know more than Chris McDonough, if you know more than Lana, if you know more than Harsh Reality, if you know more than all them, if you know more than the law enforcement and everybody else, by God, you were there. So I would be careful, because I want you to know if you were there. I don't want to know you were there, because I'm not going to be involved. Because at this point, none of us know. It's all opinion. It's all theory. It's all narrative. The only person that knows is that piece of shit that's down there in the Idaho jail. And yes, this is my channel, so I can call him a piece of shit, because it's my opinion and it's my channel. So, I mean, nobody knows. So, and then the arrogance and the, you twisted my head around yesterday, Dago, because look, I ain't one to hide. If I troll you in your chat, okay? I don't do it out in the hallway. I come in and I will troll your ass to your face, okay? And you're all nice and I'm nice and everything's going good. And you're like, look, y'all, we can all have different opinions while we talk smut. Anyway. And then at the end of it, you're like, shut up. Just shut up, you pieces of trash. If you creators want to keep on doing this to a person y'all don't know, shut the fuck up. Well, my God, that just twisted my head around because I thought we were going to have adult conversations. Now, if I get up here and I call you names and I call everybody else names that don't go in line with my beliefs, then I'm the problem. But yet you can sit up there and call us trash and pieces of crap and stuff like that. I don't do double standards. I don't do double anything. That's the reason I'm single. I mean, so it's just neither here nor there, because here's the thing about it. We have 4 people, 4 beautiful souls, that their life was taken from them for no reason, no justification that anybody can ever tell, okay? I don't care if God himself comes down there and talks to their parents and says, this is the reason that it happened. That will never be good enough for one of those parents, because they want their baby back. Okay? And we can all talk and we can all do whatever. But some of the stuff that some of these people come up with, I just don't know how. I don't know how you sleep at night. I don't know where it comes from. But yet you can't prove it. But yet you want me to prove everything. Oh, Warning Label Nina said this. Well, you better have some receipts. Well, I am the receipt queen, let me tell you. I can show receipts for anything that comes out of my Warning Label mouth. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind tinfoil hats. I don't mind conspiracy theories. You know what? I don't mind any of it if you're not saying that one of the victims is a hooker. You know, I mean, that's just smut. That's just wrong. It is just wrong. I don't care if one of those girls, I don't care if every one of those girls slept with 50 guys that night. I don't care. That don't make them deserve what happened to them. And then everybody wants to talk about Dylan and Bethany. They're not victims. Let me tell you something. The world as they knew ended that night. The life as they knew it ended. The plans for the jumping on the trampoline tomorrow ended that night. So don't tell me that they're not a victim. There is a big difference between living and existing. And I know I come out here and I scream like a banshee and I do this and I do that and and I don't mean to. Yes, I do mean to. No, I really don't. Yes, I do. I mean, I'm not trying to be a badass. I'm not trying to be a police. I'm not trying to do this or trying to do that. I know the loss of a child. I know the grief. I know the pain. I know they're never coming back. This is not a book that these people get to flip the page and their loved ones just be alive tomorrow. They're not characters. They're not throwaways. And the thing about it is we're trampling all over their memory. For who? Please tell me who we're trampling all over these people's memory for. A piece of shit coward that snuck in the middle of the night while he knew everybody had been out drinking, while they had been snorting some Adderall, while they had been smoking some pot maybe, and I can't prove any of this. I'm just saying things that they may have done because they were in college. We do have a rolled up $2 bill. I'm not going to deny that. You know, does that make them dope heads? I'm going to tell you this right now. The cartel don't come in and kill 4 people over Adderall. The only thing that happens over Adderall is they may stay up too long, get some sleep deprivation, and fail a final. But we are sitting there and people are diminishing what happened and trying to put all the blame. Poor old Jack D. Y'all gonna sit there and talk about, well, you know what? That would probably drive Jack D crazy knowing that she's sleeping with 5 guys. Motherfucker, let me tell you. I want to know the 5 guys that she's sleeping with. I want to know the guy's name that she's moving in with in Texas. I want to know. Tell me, if you know so much, please do a video addressed to me and answer these questions. Because I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. If you are man enough to get up on a panel, and you are man enough, no, you ain't man enough. If you are scum enough to get up on a panel and say those kind of things, bring your receipts. I want them. I'm requesting them. I am putting out a smut FOIA request for your receipts. Please tell me who she has used that bed for. Please tell me who has paid her for what you are accusing. I want names. I want everything. If you're going to say it, prove it. If you're not going to prove it, keep your mouth shut. And yesterday, I put out, look, I'm telling anybody and everybody right now, I can and I am able to have an adult conversation. I'm able to have a debate. I'm able to have a discussion. I don't want everybody to have my opinion because God knows that would be a very boring life if everybody thought and believed like I did. But I'm not going to have adult conversations with this kind of stuff. When I say adult conversations, it's, you know what, that's really questionable. I have to give you that. That came straight from the documents, not from my smut mouth. That came from a police report, not from my smut brain or something I made up. That's the kind of debate and discussion I'm talking about. Is let's talk about, why did Brian Kohberger buy 2 inverters? Why is it that he went and he bought a 1,000-watt inverter and 3 days later went and bought a 2,000-watt inverter? Let's talk about that. Let's discuss that. Because I can guarantee you that I can tell you the reason I believe he bought 2 inverters. But I can tell you that you're so worried about smut shaming, you hadn't even thought about him buying 2 inverters and probably don't even know what an inverter is. Dee Dee says she's not sure where my... Oh, Lord. Well, my warning label actually comes from Gage. He actually titled me that. I was on panel with him one night, and he told me that I should come with a warning label. And when I started my channel, I was just Nina Kelly, because Nina Kelly is who I was on TikTok. And Daniel from Drunk Turkey was like, you know, you might want to think about a catchy name. And then Unfiltered Lucky was like, you know, you might want to get a catchier name or something. So that's where warning label Nina comes from. Jeff, she's busy talking. You know you didn't miss it. Uh-oh. What did I miss? Who did I miss? if they would like to provide proof, I would be happy to make sure the G's are aware. So, oh my God, I am so glad that somebody from the G's is in here. So, Chloe, thank you. I could not, I started to just, I'll be honest with you, I started not to do this. I started to just send it to Chloe and say, here, just get this wherever it needs to go, because this needs to be handled. And I couldn't sleep last night. I was like, I'm lashing out at people. I'm sensitive. I'm got all this going on because it's just driving me crazy, because I don't want to come off as a troublemaker. I don't want to come off. But then again, I do have to earn my warning label. If I'm not going to earn it, I don't need it. So, oh, I have a fan. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Is that better? But Salty, it would be so different if it was just Dago. And I guess that's the reason that I said that if I called out everybody, that I would just be sitting here all day long doing the smut police patrol. And the thing about it is, that was the smut. I think that right there, that little 4-minute segment, the whole time I have covered this, that was probably the worst that I had ever heard come out of anybody's mouth. I mean, I've heard innuendos, I've heard them insinuate, stuff like that, or put out videos about, OnlyFans, or put out videos about sugar babies, but not be so direct as that 4 minutes was, and to do it so smutfully. I mean, there was no kind of, well, let's just hold back and give a little bit of grace. This may be what we think, and I can't control what people think, okay? But to put yourself out there with that kind of smut coming out of your mouth and not even worry about how it sounds or how ignorant it makes you sound, I worry about that. I mean, the thing about it is, if you think about it, it's any excuse. Anybody did it but Kohberger, okay? Everybody caused it but Kohberger. Everybody's to blame but Kohberger. And that's the thing about it, is I guess that's where I get aggravated, is it's like I said, if I've got problems with 10 different people, I may be the common denominator, and I am probably the problem. Inverters, same reason BK was pinging all over the place, right? Bundy escaped twice. No, actually, an inverter is what you hook to your battery that gives you power supply. In my opinion, he went out away from everybody, and he found an abandoned house, and he pulled his car up into a barn. He shut the door. He hooked the cables to his battery, kept his car running, hooked the cables to the inverters, and he plugged up a steamer, and he steamed his car, and he plugged up fog lights to make sure that he had plenty of light. He plugged up drill brushes and scrubbed his seats and carpets. And the house has been empty for so long, it's got all kind of spare tires hanging around and everything. So that spare tire he got rid of, just chunk it out there in the barn. If somebody buys the house in February of 2025 and they find a spare, I'm sure they're not going to say, hey, I found a spare tire. Y'all think it might belong to that Kohberger guy? No. A house that old with all those tractors and farmhouses, they got so many spare tires hanging around, they ain't even going to pay attention to another one. So, I mean, but the thing about it is that what I'm saying is, it's not about the inverters, but it's about, did you not even question why he bought an inverter? No, you're too busy questioning why Kaylee got a bed in the spare bedroom downstairs. Maybe it's because that's where one of them slept that moved out. Couldn't be something that simple. Oh. See there? Rock Chalk says. Rock Chalk, tell me, is that not a feasible and plausible, because just because it's possible doesn't mean it's plausible, reason for buying inverters? Why does a college guy buy 2 inverters within 3 days apart? Why you need all that power supply, dude? Are you a DJ? Are you going DJing? Oh, I'm sorry, your rapping didn't last very long. Would he have that on the 13th between 5:30 and 8:30? No, he did not. He didn't have it until November the 20th. He got one on November the 20th and one on November the 22nd. He needed it for camping. And you know what? Dolphin Salty just made me answer what we were discussing the other night about the phone being off and him being out there and everything, because we were thinking about him cleaning the car like the 13th and 14th. But he didn't buy the inverter until November the 20th. But he bought the inverters after the murders, which means that he probably wasn't confident enough in his cleaning ability without doing it with the, because if you look up the cleaning of like drive-by shootings and stuff like that in cars, they use steamers and drill brushes and stuff like that to make sure that all the enzymes are broke up and all that. I don't say shut up. I don't want to be rude. What? I'm done with it. Not a big deal. Jeff, what's going on? Oh, goodness. I don't do very well at chat, y'all. I'm sorry. Gage, are you in here? Somebody? What did I miss? Oh, okay. So it's just between Rondi and Jeff. Okay. I'm just making sure that I didn't miss something. I don't want to ignore anybody. Dolphin, yes. It's in the MPD docs. It's talking, he bought them at Tractor Supply. He even bought the 6-foot cables to go with it. So, but that's the thing about it is, you know, instead of worrying about a bed in a bedroom and stuff like that, maybe we can get together and talk about things that, like, matter sometimes. I mean, you know, instead of Jack D went and killed him because Kaylee is sleeping with 5 guys. Like I said, FOIA request requested. Give me your receipts. I mean, so Jeff says nothing to worry about. Okay. Y'all just let me know if I missed something. And no, I'm not going to apologize for this because I don't think I went over the top. I don't think, why does this say connected default? Boy, y'all can tell that I am not the live queen. I do so much better on panel, not doing my own. So, and as far as the documents from the Idaho state, y'all, come on. Y'all tell me, is there not this huge difference between the documents that we got from Moscow and the documents that we got from the state police? I mean, it's like a world of difference. And another thing, everybody wants to talk about the DNA and stuff like that, and how they don't trust it, and they don't do this, and they don't do that. I want everybody to know, and I don't think I can say it enough, the Idaho State Forensics Lab in Meridian, Idaho, is number 13 in the world. Not number 13 in the United States. Not number 13 on a continent. The world. I don't care if your world's flat. I don't care if your world is round. Okay? Number 13 Forensics Lab in the world. You do not, you don't get to be that number by doing crazy shit that's being said that happened, okay? Somebody said the other day, well, all they did was take the DNA, drop it in a plastic bag, and put it on a plane to Othram. Number one, they didn't just throw it in a damn plastic bag. That thing was packed and packed and repacked and repacked, okay? Number two, they don't send the sheath to Othram. Othram deals with the SMP, which comes from the STR, okay? And the thing about it is they didn't just say, oh, well, I think we're just going to scrape that snap right there and we're just going to forget the rest of the sheath. Come on, y'all. You don't get to be number 13 in the world by doing that kind of stuff. I mean, So, anyway. Yes, Salty, the DNA has always been accurate. It has always been correct. If there is a hill I will die on. I believe in my research and I stand on my research, but I know that there's a whole lot smarter creators out there than me. But I can tell you this right now. If there's a hill I will die on, it is the IgG hill and the DNA hill. And that is because I have put so much research into it that I know it backwards and forwards. And the other hill I will die on is the Kohberger hill. And that is only because of the research I have done into him all the way back to elementary school. And I may not be a psychiatrist, I may not be a psychologist, I may not be any forensic profiler or anything like that, but I feel confident in my research as far as he's concerned, and understanding that the person that these people are taking up for, here's what's sad about it, y'all. I want y'all to understand. They're fighting and defending a person that's okay with it. They don't understand that he's okay with what he is. He hasn't got a problem. He's not jumping up and down fighting. He's good. He has known for years what his future was going to be. He has known for years what he was going to do, what he wanted to do, what he was and who he is. So they're fighting for somebody that's not even asking to be fought for. That's what's sad about it, is they're just totally 100%. He's autistic. Y'all are making fun of that motherfucker. Ain't autistic. That motherfucker is psychoistic. That's it. You can excuse anything you want to. He's got every ism there is. And can anybody tell me an ism that's a good thing? So, do y'all have any questions now that I've done my rant? Butterfly says he confessed. But they made him confess, Butterfly. He didn't have a choice. Everybody took advantage of him having Asperger's and being autistic and frail, can't even button his top button or tie his shoes. We took advantage of that. I mean, come on, y'all. I think I said it in Salty's live this morning when they were talking about the selfies and stuff. I'm still, and Jeff H., close your ears. When they start talking about his shirtless selfies and flexing, that stuff is like seared in my brain now, and I'm like, what muscles? They talk about his hands and his dexterity and his crippling joints, and I'm like, muscles flexing? Hell, if he flexes, he can't even button his top button. I mean, Dolphin's like, I think you covered it all. Chloe, see, Chloe, I'm glad I could give that to you today. Think about that. That. And here's the thing about it is he was doing it for himself. They said that he didn't send them to anybody. He didn't post them anywhere. That's just how he thought of himself. I mean, oh, look at me. Look at me. No, dude, go back and play checkers somewhere. I mean, Faraday, ain't that the 100% truth right there? Hybristophilia. And did y'all notice? Did y'all notice that one of the comments in that little 4-minute segment was talking about histrionic? Oh my God! Do y'all know what histrionic is? And they want to sit there and talk about histrionic behavior and stuff like that while they're talking about a bed in the bedroom. I was just like, oh my God. I mean, the thing about it is he is a libertarian that studied Darwinism, that studied is it Freudianism or Freudian? That may not be an ism. Freudian may not be an ism. Darwinism, hell, I don't know. I've got it all listed somewhere. But I don't know how to upload more than 3 things, and I would have to go and upload it, and then I'd have all this dead air, and I don't like the dead air. I have to try to entertain y'all, so I don't know. I just don't know. The thing about it is one of the reasons that I think, and I know we can't put the genie back in the bottle. The trial, I was so hoping that if the jury found him innocent, that he would be so innocent that we could all come back and say, damn, I was wrong. Or that he would be found so guilty that they could come back and say, damn, we were wrong. But the way it went down, he still went down in total control. Now, for somebody, Freudianism is a word. Thank you, Dolphin. But the thing about it is, for somebody that has to have that much control and everything, to be such a coward. And if you think about it, because my narrative, which screw my narrative, it's not about my narrative, but, we all have theories that we think, and when it comes down to it, my narrative is nothing. We just want the truth. But me, in my heart of hearts, I think that Xana was the target, and I think Xana was attacked first. I won't get into that right now, because that could be a whole different show. But even if she was the first, I think that his black and white brain, when he realized that Ethan was in the bed, or will go when he realized Kaylee was in the bed, his black and white brain all of a sudden got twisted into a gray area that he didn't know how to navigate. And that gray area put him into chaos. And I think that's how everything and everybody that happened that night happened. Is I think he went in for one target, and that gray area put his mind into chaos. And I won't call them collateral damage, because that does not give them the respect they deserve. but 3 other lives and 2 lives ended, even though they're still walking and breathing. So how is that not proof that he had an option and choice and he chose the deal? Okay, see, yes. Okay, that's the thing about it, is they want to talk about how we pushed him into this deal. How did we? Look, I ain't in Idaho. I don't know. I ain't got no control over this. I've never met him, never been in a courtroom. So I don't know if he's got a rat in his pocket or what. But if I understand correctly, they were going to trial. They were all set up. They were going to trial. And then Mr. Wussifactor decided that he didn't want to be shot in the chest. And maybe they might want to renegotiate. So from the way I understand it is chicken shit and lawyer went to prosecution and said, hey, hey, can we make a deal? Because let me tell you something. He could have worked out any kind of deal. Y'all know that it's called a plea deal. Usually a deal is both sides giving and taking something, The only thing prosecution did was took the death penalty off the table. That was it. That's all they gave up. Okay? Now let's look at what Mr. Chicken Shit gave up. He gave up his rights to a jury. He gave up going to trial. He gave up any chance of an appeal. And he could have said, you know what? You're right. I went in there to take one life. I never intended to take any other lives. So I'll cop to first degree on one, but I want second degree or lesser on the other 3 because those were not premeditated. He could have negotiated, okay? Y'all notice that there was no negotiation, and I'm talking to people that may be listening. Hell, that you're probably not listening. You're too busy smut mouthing. But I mean, if you think about it, he gave up his right to appeals, and I know everybody is sitting there on pins and needles daily, waiting for him to appeal. Y'all, how's he going to appeal? Does he have a lawyer? Can somebody answer me that? Because if I'm not mistaken, and I am no lawyer, okay? I am no paralegal. I am no law clerk, nothing like that. But if I'm not just totally stupid, if I sit there and plead guilty and I go to prison, doesn't that sort of kind of end the state's responsibility as far as my lawyer is concerned? Because isn't that sort of like case closed? So unless he has some money from having a bed in his jail cell, you make money with beds. So unless he's making money off his bed in his jail cell, he doesn't have a lawyer that the state of Idaho is paying for. And when he gave up his appeals, I would say he probably gave up his appeals. So I think they may be sitting there waiting for nothing. Because I think if he appeals, he may go right back to the table of the firing range because he went against the agreement. Is that correct? But Salty, even when the 45 days is up, with him pleading guilty 5 times, okay? 5 times. He said guilty. He didn't hesitate or anything. And I'm not saying that to you, Salty. I have a question for you. After his 45 days is up, the innocence Chloe, you're still in here, Salty. Everybody can answer this question. When his 45 days are up, a year from now, can he come back and say, you know what, I don't think I made the right decision. I think I want to appeal. Or is he stuck in prison for the rest of his life? Oh, hell, Gage. They could start a GoFundMe. They probably got a GoFundMe for him. I mean, shit. Got a GoFundMe for everything. That's what I say, Faraday. Thank you, Salty. Thank you. So, I mean, you know, it's just like, golly, there's so much I want to say, and I get on here and I just go like completely blank because I ramble around, and I've never been one of these that's, you know, like writes my script out or does bullet points or anything like that. That's probably the reason that my lives are usually like chaotic and stuff, because my life is chaotic. Commissary money. Oh, wow. Okay, Chloe says, only 2 legitimate avenues for appeal exist. One being ineffective counsel. I have a question about that. Regarding the plea deal. Another being new evidence. Huh. Well, if any new evidence comes up, it'd be against him, not for him. But anyway, I digress on that one. My question is, ineffective counsel. Does it not mean anything when the judge looks at Taylor and says, Miss Taylor, do you feel blah, blah, blah? You've done everything you can. She says yes. And then he says, Mr. Kohberger, do you feel blah, 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 that you've had the best counsel? And he says yes. Does that not hold ground for anything? Can he still come back with ineffective counsel? And again, if I'm not mistaken too, just because he puts in an appeal, that doesn't mean they have to hear it. It can be rejected, right? I mean, they can just say, you're out of luck. Thank you, Chloe. Dee Dee says she's here for the ASMR. Oh my God, I can't even imagine me being ASMR. That's too funny. Thank you, Dee Dee. Wow. See, that's what I was thinking is, you know, if I stand up and say, I'm good, I'm going to jail, I did it. I just don't see how I come back and say, I want to appeal. Thank you. That's what I thought. They're not even obligated to hear it. Uh, 12 gauge, I just saw your statement about the hell of an opening statement. And you know, that is one thing that I wished could have happened is I was actually looking forward to the closing statement for the prosecution. I was looking forward to the opening statement, but you know, usually the closing statement is more emotional and like, you know, I am prosecution, hear me roar, you know. But Chloe, if I'm not mistaken, Loeb and Leopold, was it the opening statement that was like 19 hours? Thank you for coming, Rock Chalk. See, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the judge put questions out there pretty much sealing the deal. I mean, you know, I'm going to ask you the questions that you could come back on me for. Anybody have any questions? And y'all, I thank y'all so much. I don't think I've ever had 21 people in my chat. Hey, Mountain Mama, how are you feeling? So, Jeff, can you tell me what Rule 12 is? Oh, wow. Salty says she won't be surprised if he files an appeal. See, I will be. I honestly think that he's done with it. And I think that he's sitting there just waiting on Ramsland to show up and them do whatever they're going to do. And I really do. I think he's good with it. I think that he has accomplished what he wanted to accomplish, because he's sitting in his cell saying, "You see me now, don't you? You know who I am now. Kohberger will go down in infamy." So I think he's content. And you know, the thing about it is, I think he knows that he's got a bunch of morons out here that are still fighting for him, and he's getting off on that. And then you got to wonder, are they fighting for him, or are they fighting to save their channel? Because I'll be honest with you, when the MPD documents came out, I read maybe 4 of them. I was like, you know what? I'm decompressing for a while. I have read documents, I have researched until I'm blue in the face, and I'm just done with it. He pled, it's over, I'm taking a break from it. And seriously, I only read like 4 documents. One of them being about the inverter. And then here came these 500 and something documents, and I've read every one of them. But if it wasn't for documents coming out and stuff like that, to me, it was over. It was done. You know, I was already gone into another case called the Zizians. That was interesting. That's it's a vegan transgendered cult. And the hand washing. See, now Texas Ranger, he had a good point, because y'all notice how red his hands were. And yeah, Dolphin, I only read 4 of the Moscow Police Department documents. But I asked 12, I was like, you know, I was looking at his red hands, and I was like, and don't get me wrong, I know that he doesn't have a heart or anything like that, and so it's really not bothering him. But because of his, you know, OCD or whatever, I wondered if he kept washing his hands, like trying to get the blood off of them. You know what I'm saying? But then Texas Ranger came in and said that he could have scrubbed his cell with that powdered bleach, and that would turn them red like that. Sorry, y'all. I read Faraday's comment. Oh, Lord. I might have to put that one up on screen. If I can figure out how. "12 gauge. I read that chronic hand washing stems from a Oh, golly. Y'all can read it. Oh, that's too funny. Woo! So, Jeff, I think we got it all covered, don't we? So, see, I mean, I guess that's the reason I was like, okay, he's gone. He's done. It's over. Let's carry on. Uh-oh, what have I done? I lost y'all. Okay. Well, y'all, yeah, do y'all, oh my gosh, there's more questions. Jeff's got more. Oh, you're talking about more questions that he asked. And see, that's what I'm saying is I think the judge knew what he was doing. The judge knew that he was like, okay, I'm going to make sure this fool answers all these questions because he ain't coming back on my ass and getting an appeal and all that stuff. So, but y'all, I thank y'all so much for being here. Like I said, I've got a live tonight. I'm not good at the whole asking for money thing, and believe me, it's not for me. I'm a broke bitch, but I'm not asking for me. When my son died, we started Debo's Kennels, and so I have an order for 4 kennels. We already have 2 of them paid for. They're $500 a piece, which if you research it, and I can show all the receipts and everything, they're $1,200 because they're anchored. They have graded floors for cleanup. They have fans. They have a doghouse. It's galvanized steel. They have the tarps on top, the tarps for the side to keep them out of the weather. And what it is we put kennels up at rehab centers so that if somebody wants to go to rehab, they can take their dog with them. Because, aw, Dee Dee, thank you. I love you. Thank you so much for that. Oh yeah, his porn searches. I mean, come on, y'all. The stuff that people are just overlooking is endless. And I think after I do the fundraiser tonight, I may do like a 10 or 11 o'clock live, one of those late night lives that I do, and do some bullet points as far as like the crazy stuff that they're not even paying attention to, like the inverters, and the porn. Did y'all know that they actually sit there and said, he's a 28-year-old man? It wasn't consensual, people. Did you miss that part of it? It wasn't consensual porn that he was watching. It was non-consensual. Now, y'all, I have been in lifestyle before. A lot of people don't know that. And in lifestyle, there is such thing as consensual, non-consensual role play. This ain't role playing, y'all. He wasn't role playing. So, thank you, everybody. Thank you. And of course, we begin with the reason we're here. And we end with the reason we're here. So if y'all want to stay, we're going to have another song. And these are poems that I write that I actually just put to music. So the songs that I play on my channel are written by me. So, and that's not like tooting my horn, but there's no copyright or anything. So if anybody ever wants to use them, they're on a playlist. So if anybody ever wants to use them or anything, they're not copyrighted or anything. It's just my writings. So I love y'all, and I hope to see y'all tonight for the fundraiser.
Detectives, yeah, you're playing CSI, spewing half-baked theories while their families cry. Koberger's guilty, nice framed. You love the fucking game, but Santa smiling Ethan's heart ain't fuel for your thing. You're dropping hashtags, chasing clout. It's a digital disease, turning